So this is the Note 8, which is actually the last one to support full sound audio upscaling and Atmos using the wired DeX system. So you don't even need to use the DeX pad anymore. So that's kind of a cool compromise as well. But ever since the Note 9, they emphasized the wireless DeX, so they had to pipe all the audio through the same AV compression scheme, which is pretty cool because it actually allowed for multi-sound, but it crippled the ability for it to become a really cool Uber sound streamer. Check this out. So see how the DAC is at 48 kilohertz? Well, you know the limit for USB is max 192, which is pretty much what everyone goes for like a USB DAC, right? And on the Note 9, that only works now, unfortunately, with headphones, because it no longer is able to send that through just standard USB into DeX, which is actually a very big disappointment. But it still works here. It just says enhanced sound, and it's just a global effect. Check it out. That still works. As does this, which also doesn't now. It also doesn't work anymore on the Note 9, but it still does work with the wireless on the Note 8 through the wired setting. Listen. So, unfortunately, the Note 8, it may not support wireless DeX, but because it doesn't have to deal with wireless DeX, it still supports full original SAPA, essentially, original Samsung Pro audio through the USB. So not only does it support UHQ upscaler, including the entire suite, which includes the bit and bandwidth upscaling, but it supports Atmos, DSD, and it still supports Pro Audio. The Note 8 is actually the last one to still support Pro Audio, which means that you can plug a USB keyboard into it and make it into a live instrument where you can record a wave. You use heat synthesizer and like the billion filters that it has built in, and shape any sound into anything you want. Here, let me let's try not thumb jam. Let's see, where is it? Oh, do I not have it installed in this one? Well, if I don't have it installed in this one, I'm gonna have to shoot another video. And that one might be better to show just in my hand, because it's easier to play in my hand than using like an air mouse. But yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I'm kind of ambivalent because the Note 8 has been like the perfect audio and video streamer. Even supports, check this out. So I could download torrents through it, and this doesn't bother me because I got a 2 terabyte hard drive attached to it, which means I could download whatever movies I want. So yeah, the audio is just amazing. This is what I use to listen to stuff. It's just way better than just playing stuff through. Even when you're playing stuff through Spotify, it restores all the missing information. Like, it gets rid of the brick wall filter, so things just sound more just open. There's actually studies that show that brick wall filters are naturally uncomfortable. There's even ones that use ECGs that have found that there's actually and this test was repeated actually 10 years later, that it increases the amount of alpha wave engagement, which is basically just your mind being more immersed by the music. It's not even something where you even necessarily, like, a person who isn't trained to really know they still feel it. And that's kind of the analogy I like to usually use is imagine scratching your nails on chalkboard. Why is that uncomfortable, right? But imagine scratching nails on chalkboard next to a waterfall or Niagara Falls. That's not gonna be as uncomfortable, and that's because there's no brick wall filter. So when you're scratching nails on chalkboard, you're hearing the actual nails on chalkboard and then an abrupt end to that range, and that's very uncomfortable. But if you have other noise playing above and below that, the full spectrum, then it all sounds, it fits, it all harmonizes together. And that's an explanation for why it doesn't work with headphones. And that's one of the main things that really confuse people as far as like our ability to hear sound at a wider frequency, is because a lot of it was tested with headphones, which is when you have a speaker in each ear. So then things like phase relationships and all the interactions over the air don't actually sum, which is much different than when you have the sound actually summing in the air and going through both ears at once, and your brain produces the exterior image from all that. So things like, you wouldn't anticipate, like sound above 18 kilohertz, above 22 kilohertz, whatever the heck people think is the limit, will have an effect in that it reinforces the sound. Yeah, so these are the LS50s. What's odd is that the LS50 Metas actually swoop down at 18K. So it's kind of weird. Whereas these ones actually go straight through, they have a slight rise actually to 20K and go all the way up to, I think it was 38 kilohertz. But I suspect that was just a way of crippling them because they didn't want, people to be too satisfied. Because I'm sure they're going to be releasing other things afterwards that they'd rather people buy for more expensive. I mean, they wouldn't want you to get, the LS50s and then get some subwoofers that you're really happy with, like I am, and then not really seem to care to upgrade anymore. Because I'm pretty damn happy with my setup. But, so that's basically why the Note 8, I actually have a spare Note 8 besides this for this very reason. And I'm probably going to be holding on to this thing forever because I'm going to be using it for music as a portable. And this one I'm going to be using as a just permanent DeX mode streamer. I like putting it upside down because I can unlock it by just tapping it right here. And then that's how I turn on the DeX. So I can stream music or play movies. And it automatically is constantly connected to my hard drive. And when I want to download anything, it just downloads directly to the hard drive. And I got 2 terabytes in there. So if I want to watch a movie, I just use my other phone, use my, Bluetooth mouse app, which simulates a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. And you could just use this thing like a multitasking computer. So, here, I'll see what movies I got in here real quick. And I'll just put on something random. You know what? I'll just go and put on, let's see. I don't want to get flagged, so what should I put on? I'm using NSC right now because I don't want to get flagged, but I'm afraid if I put on some music, or a movie, then it's gonna flag me. Maybe I'll just put on something like small, like, let's see, I want to look through my video library and see if I can find something that isn't gonna immediately get me flagged. I'm gonna pause it real quick. Actually, my video's about to, I got a 10-minute limit on my account, so I should probably end it now anyway. But yeah, that's the advantage of having the Note 8 versus the Note 9. There are advantages of the Note 9 that I'll cover in my next video, but it doesn't come close to being able to serve the purpose of this. It just doesn't work with this. But thanks.